Hi everyone, welcome to our latest video. Really pleased to be able to show this afternoon this absolutely stunning Triumph Rocket 3 Roadster. Well, if you've been into bikes for a few years, I'll be absolutely astonished if you've never heard of a Rocket 3. A bike either famous or more likely infamous for being the motorcycle with the largest capacity engine in a production motorcycle. And there she is, all 2,294cc of Triumph 3-cylinder engine. So if you aren't particularly familiar with it, let me just repeat that again. We've got a 2.3 litre engine in a motorcycle. Hard to believe, but there she is in all her glory. Now this particular bike is a one owner bike from new. She's a 2015 plate, and it will come as no surprise to most of you that she's incredibly low mileage, having covered just 2,600 miles from new. Now, as you can imagine, a 2.3 litre engine in a motorcycle is very unlikely to be stressed, and these engines will do starship mileage. It's not uncommon to see these with you know, 40 or 50,000 miles on the clock, so possibly as close to a new bike as one might find. And we're really delighted to have this bike in stock because the Rocket 3 is actually now being discontinued, and I've got nothing to verify it with, but I'm fairly sure that this is possibly the lowest mileage example Rocket 3 on the market today. Now basically the Rocket 3 Roadster is the full beans, it's the full package. This 2.3 litre engine develops 148 horsepower, but more important than the actual brake horsepower figure is the mighty 163 pound-foot of torque, which is developed at just 2,750 RPM. So it is a bike that even if you're in top gear, which in the case of the Rocket 3 is 5th, so in 5th on a motorway at 65-70 miles an hour, you're right in the sweet spot of the torque. So this is a bike that will accelerate from sort of 70 to 90 miles an hour in the blink of an eye, despite the fact that it is of course quite a heavy bike. And like we say in the advert, everything about it is huge. It's got a huge engine, it develops huge power, it's got a huge 240 section rear tyre. It's got huge exhausts, it's got a huge fuel tank, and also, if you're not used to it, it's a huge weight at 367 kilos wet. Now I have to say though, we also have a Triumph Thunderbird LT in stock, which is in itself quite a feat of engineering from Triumph, with its 1700cc parallel twin. Now obviously significantly less powerful than this Rocket 3, but strangely the Rocket 3 does feel like a lighter bike. It is easier to manoeuvre around at slow speeds. Neither the LT or the Rocket 3 are particularly fun to move around by hand. It is arguable that both could have done with a reverse gear, but possibly the Rocket 3 with its engine slung so low in the chassis, as you can see here, you know, it's all the guts, so to speak, are just, you know, they're so low down. Its centre of gravity is really nice, and therefore it actually handles in contrast to its statistics really. you know, it is a bike that you can throw around. I'll do some close-ups for you as well. As I say, she's done 2,600 miles, so by no means worn out. Have got some nice extras on the bike. As you can see, she's a roadster that's ready to tour, really. You can see we've got a Triumph screen. We've got additional riding lights, which having ridden this bike in the dark, only briefly, but they pierce the darkness like you wouldn't believe. Really good. So if you're riding two up through the night, you've got some great vision with those extra lights. As you can see, we've got engine crash bars to protect that big lump, and of course the other huge thing about this bike is the radiator. Keep that big engine cool. You can see we've got rear dresser bars, and they're to help protect the Triumph panniers. So we've got the buckles for the look, and then nice, easy to undo plastic catches. You can also see that we've got a sissy bar, or pillion backrest, however you want to describe it, and a rack. So that's ideal for an extra bag or a tent or something on the back. And then again, ready to tour. You can see we've got a Garmin Zumo sat-nav, and we've also got a Starcom digital comms. Now that doesn't come with the actual microphone stroke headsets for your crash helmets, because they were retained by the previous owner, but generally the system's there. So if you did decide to go touring, it wouldn't take too much to get that all wired up. And again, there's the switch there for the auxiliary lights. As you can imagine, with 2,600 miles, she is virtually blemish free, but in the interests of openness and integrity, we'll just show you just a very small chip there on the front mudguard. Now fortunately that's on the white stripe section, so that will be touched in for the new owner. No actual paintwork damage. And this is being extremely fussy. It may not even be picked up by the camera, but there's a tiny little blemish there on the edge of the tank. But again, if you look at the sheer size of the tank, and if you can't see that through the camera lens now, then you'll see how unobtrusive it is. So let's start her up for you. The ignition key is not the easiest thing to get to with the screen, but there she is. And you'll also see that we've got a data tool alarm, which is actually built into the ignition key, and the second key comes with an alarm fob. So you can turn the alarm off, key in the ignition. Now just excuse the camera for a second, because we do have to pull the clutch in for this one. And there you go, that's a Rocket 3 firing into life. Even when you start it, you know, you can feel the torque and the size of the engine, because as soon as the starter motor engages and it starts to fire up, you can feel the engine twisting in the chassis, where, you know, I say that you've just got that torque just ripping through it. So on that basis, it's no wonder that this bike was made with shaft drive. See in there. I don't think there's a belt on the market that would quite cope with this level of torque. they just about to make out their we've got a battery charging lead there for an Optimate or an Oxford. You can probably see that just revving the engine, the bike rocking from side to side. We'll just show those auxiliary lights on as well. And if we flick high beam on as well, you can see that certainly going to be visible to oncoming traffic, that's for sure. You can actually feel the heat from those lights from here. So there you have it. There's our Rocket 3 Roadster. And just to finish off, in contrast to the Rocket 3 Touring, which was a bike that I believe was available sort of 2010, 2011 time, that came with hard luggage, but was actually significantly detuned down to about 106 brake horsepower. So here we have a Roadster which is full fat, full power, not detuned in any shape or form. But of course it has been accessorised to lend itself to go touring. Nothing to prevent you taking any of those bits off and just having it as the world's largest naked roadster. But I think it's got all the right bits in all the right places. And just to summarise, she's a 2015 15 plate Triumph Rocket 3 Roadster with panniers, sissy bar, backrest, engine bars, dresser bars, front screen, Garmin's Umo sat-nav and a Starcom digital comms package, and the additional front riding lights. Now this bike's available at 11,995. I hope you enjoyed the video.